All right, I'm gonna call the Legislative Ad Hoc Committee meeting to order. First order of business is to approve the minutes. Each one of you have a set in front of you. Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, now I'll open it to public comments.
Do you want me to do this?
I guess now, right? Good time. Yeah, go ahead.
Would it be public comment or would it be part of the agenda?
I want to get into the agenda.
Yeah.
So we wait.
Mm-hmm.
No public comments, all right.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
All right, the agenda has one bill on here. The mayor added one last second to me on the way in. So, first one we'll talk about is, this, Senate Bill 1710, House Bill 1629, Isley Sapecki. Taxes privileged as introduced requires half of the unencumbered revenue of the recordation tax to be distributed to counties for school debt and capital projects. It amends TCA section 674409. I'm going to ask Commissioner Breeze to give us a briefing on this bill, if she would.
Sure.
Give that to Mike.
Which one? This one?
So I put together a folder so you guys have all kinds of information. But effectively what this is this is an existing tax. It's a recordation tax. It's 37 cents per hundred is what the rate is. And it's charged every time property transfers hands. So when you have a real estate transaction, it's an existing stream of revenue. Currently, it all goes to the state. So this bill, which actually picked up 6 additional House sponsors, which I'm really hoping that is a good sign, would allow counties to keep half of the unencumbered amount here in the county where it's collected to use for school debt and school capital projects. So, as an example, if you go through, there's a couple of parts of it that's actually encumbered. So 3.25 cents is dedicated to the Wetlands Acquisition Fund at the state. 1.75 cents goes to the Local Parks Acquisition Fund. 1.5 cents goes to the State Parks Acquisition Fund. And 1.5 cents goes to the Agricultural Resource Conservation Fund. So that leaves 29 cents, so you get half of that. And as an example, this last year, we brought in over $11 million, actually $11.8 million was collected here in Wilson County. We would have been able to keep $4.2 million to pay school debt or school capital projects. So,
We missed last year. We missed it last
yeah,
year.
oh, I know, yeah. So in the packet that I put together for everybody, there's the bill summary, the fiscal note, the bill history, kind of where it is right now. So in the Senate, it's been referred to the Finance, Ways and Means Revenue Subcommittee. And then in the House, it's been placed behind the budget with additional sponsors added. So again, that makes me very hopeful that maybe this is going to be passed. But I think it would be helpful if we would be willing as a body to actually either put together a resolution. Mike, I don't know if you could write something.
Sure.
That we could turn around and send to our legislators to, signify the importance to us. That this would be really helpful. So, I don't know if anybody's got any questions.
So
but you
what
could
is all the money now, the 29 cents? Does it go to the state?
It goes to the state. It goes to state general
Oh,
fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, again, it's not a new tax. It's just, right now, it's all going to the state. So this would change it so half could stay in the county. So this would benefit Wilson. I mean, it would benefit every county in the state. Because even if you had a school system that wasn't necessarily growing, you may have older schools. So this could help you pay for roof replacements or any type of renovations that you had to do or maintenance.
One central heat and air unit.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, so for the last 3 years, so like I said, in 2023, it was 11.8 million. In 22, Wilson County brought in, 12.7. And then in 21, it was 8.9. So it does vary, but
Still free
it's-
money. I mean, it's just,
right, it's significant. And this would help us kind of plug the hole if we have issues with AFT.
We do.
Right. And this too, because it's real estate transfer, and this has always been my question about AFT in general, is that AFT is only charged for new houses. Well, what if, like Diane would say, you and your husband decide to move and,
Can you hear?
and
Yeah,
Oh,
that's loud.
okay. I think Jerry's done. All right. So hypothetically, let's say Diane and her husband move, and a family of, with 4 kids moves into Diane's house. Well, they didn't pay AFT because they didn't build anything,
That's right.
but they brought 4 more kids in, and
I
they
would have to
haven't.
pay the AFT and I don't have any.
So, right. Yeah. So at that point
You're a
too,
woman
it
of
would
means.
this would contribute to infrastructure. So I've always been interested in trying to figure out ways to be able to target this tax locally. And this is the first time in the 6 years I've been on commission that I've seen anything in the legislature that would direct these particular funds back to counties.
And how
Which I
long
think
has
would-
this been in place? At the state level? For
The
years,
tax
forever?
itself, yeah, it's been in
It's
place
the
for a
recording
really
tax
long
you
time.
pay.
And we didn't know?
When I was doing closings, I used to tell people, if you were buying, you'll pay it today, and if you sell it tomorrow, your buyer will pay it again.
Again.
But it's not like property tax. If you hold it 50 years, you'll never have to pay it again. It's just on the transfer.
Right.
Okay.
So every time the house is sold,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
so
that's
it's
some
one
advantage
time.
because this county's only getting more lots and more sales. So that will probably go up some.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. So I think this could be really, really beneficial to our county. So that's why I'd like to see the body support it as a whole.
Why is it 50% for, just for the schools? Is that because of the added population?
That's my guess, is that that's why they're targeting it. And I know that, I mean, as I
Everybody's
said,
looking for school
even
money.
even districts, even counties that aren't seeing the growth that we're seeing, they still don't really have a source for revenue, or for maintenance. So, so that, as you can see, you can pay for either school debt or school capital projects. So, I mean,
Right. Okay.
a district could do a roofing program, which, I mean, we desperately need here too.
Who
So-
would be responsible for that allocation among us in the county?
What do you mean? Oh, so the money
Where it
actually,
went to capital school practice,
State
school
takes
debt,
it
or
back.
capital projects or improvements or maintenance?
right, so it would come back through, the Register of Deeds is actually the one who collects it and then sends it up. So if you look at the last page in your packet, this actually came from Jackie. So when I first found this bill, I went to her and asked her if she could give me some ideas as to what did FY '23 look like? Because I wanted to see if this is really a reasonable amount that we, needed to target. And when she came back with the 11.6 on here, and the chart actually came from, David Connors, who's with Tennessee County Services Association. So that's where the 3-page chart with all the counties came from. So that's where the data came from. But back to your question. So my guess is that it will be redistributed back from the state, and then we could turn around and allocate it either to, capital projects into a subline, because again, it's specific to schools, so we'd have to put it, in a subline just for schools. Or you could put it in 151 or 152, but again, restrict it to school debt
The
payment.
budget committee would be responsible for that?
I would
Finance
think
would.
so.
Finance committee?
Yeah, well, yeah, it would be part of a finance policy, because, I mean, that's how, AFT right now is 2/3 to 151 through debt, and then 1/3 to capital projects, so it would be something similar to that, because that actually came through, so,
And you gotta pay a fee for the ones that processed it, so,
yes.
won't you?
Yep, yeah. So, and that's something that I know Register of Deeds talked about, and their association was actually going after some of those fees. And they're, so not the tax, but the fees associated with this. Because they were trying to keep more of that money in the county. And I know that was legislation last year or the year before. And I don't think that actually passed. I think that they were not able to get a higher percentage in that situation. But anyway, point is, this could be really helpful to the county. So that's why I asked if we could support it. That would be great.
yeah.
Yes.
if it passes.
And I know that there is, they're not bringing in as much revenue at the state right now as, as they have been in the past, but.
And they're blowing more.
Yeah, yes. But looking at all the different bills that have been filed that have fiscal notes attached to them, this one specifically could be really beneficial to us. So that's why I think we should support it. So,
All right.
Wanna ask
yeah,
your director?
yeah. I Jeff came.
Mr. Luttrell, you have anything you'd like to add?
He's not gonna turn his nose
It
up.
makes sense if we can get it passed through.
Yeah.
In the state, I don't know, revenues, who knows what's gonna happen in the next few days. But
Right.
obviously, if it's a tax that's already there, we're not taxing the
That's
people.
right.
And we
To
bring
me,
it
it's a
back our way.
no-brainer. I mean-
It's pretty simple. We'd love to have that.
Be crazy not to
Absolutely.
support it.
But
Any
I-
other-
I will say, looking at those numbers, in my understanding, when I looked at it, it could fund a new school. That would be
Yes.
your bond payment.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
4 to 5 million a
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
yep, it
So-
would.
Takes care of an elementary school pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Yep,
So, and which would help us from passing that tax on. So to me, it's a no-brainer.
right.
Any other discussion on this bill here?
Yeah.
All right, I need a motion.
Motion approved.
Second, to
All in
have,
favor?
to ask Mr. Jennings
To ask
draw
Mr.
up a
Jennings to draw up a
I'll
resolution.
bring it Monday night, cause it needs to go. You
Okay.
can't wait till March, it needs to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get a
You'll have
packet?
to suspend the rules. I got this.
Oh, I've got,
We can do that, and I'd like everybody to sign it too.
Well, I'll fix the signature
Yeah.
line for
Please.
everybody.
that should give you enough information to write a
It's a no-brainer.
resolution.
Okay.
All right, this
It'll be
is,
brief, it'll be that we support this because
Yeah.
It's completely
Well,
up to
10
you,
years,
but
that
that way
pays
you
elementary
have,
school up.
if you wanna
Yeah.
put anything in there, it's all there.
well, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I got blindsided on another one coming in tonight.
Tell us about it.
Mayor Hutto one been passed along this other, it's House Bill 1795 by Capley, Senate Bill 1660 by Wally. It's about natural disasters. You've got a copy of it in front of you if you want to read over it for a minute. He wanted us to also pass a resolution saying that we're in support of this bill as well. If you read about it, it gives our county $250,000 for, I think it's debris cleanup after a natural disaster.
And this is, you said, you think it's for, to go on and start doing this?
Yes.
And then we'll get reimbursed?
Commissioner McFarland had brought up that, yeah, you could go ahead and start,
Instead of waiting on
get
a
started
check?
instead of waiting on the check.
When the governor makes a declaration, excuse me, when the governor makes a declaration, it has to go to FEMA, and they have to send inspectors in to look at it, send it back to FEMA for the president to sign off on it. There's always a 3 to 10, 12 days lag.
So this kinda cuts the middleman out,
That's correct.
Okay.
kinda cuts the middleman out. I need,
Give me those numbers again, Kevin.
House Bill 1795,
Okay,
Senate Bill 1660.
okay.
I think too, it's available if there isn't a federal declaration, but there's a state declaration as well.
Oh,
So I know that one of the biggest problems that I've had dealing, because I've dealt with pre-disasters, like you guys have too, but, is trying to actually get, tree and debris actually taken away. So if a house is hit, insurance kicks in.
Yeah.
If trees are hit, it's out of people's pockets. And that's always the biggest struggle I have, is trying to figure out how do I help, my constituents get that tree debris out.
You go buy a chainsaw and you learn to run it. That's
That's
how
what
you
we
do it.
did.
Well, right, yeah, but after you cut it all up, then what do you do with it?
Burn it.
That's
Burn
the
it.
issue. Yeah, but if you've got lots of trees, it gets to a point where
You
you're
need
kinda
diesel
stuck.
fuel. That's
So,
right.
yes, true.
All right, we have any other discussion on this bill?
No, sir.
All
Yeah.
right,
Second.
You made the motion.
Diane.
Did I? Okay.
You did. Yeah, you made it a while ago, so. All in favor? Aye. All right, motion passes for Mayor Jennings to draw a resolution up to support that bill
Have
as
both of
well.
those for you Monday night.
Alrighty. Any old business to come before this body?
Is there any report on Senate Bill 1676?
We do not have anything on it tonight.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to contact State Representative Boyd tomorrow and try to get him to come up here, so we'll probably gonna have another meeting here before too long
Okay.
to discuss some of this other stuff coming up.
That will affect us.
Yep.
Probably for the 4th of March, right?
Yeah, probably so. Probably before the 4th of March.
Fall season.
Oh, well, county commission, this is a short turnaround.
3
time,
weeks,
3
isn't it?
weeks.
Yeah. All right. Any old business? Any new business? Need one more motion?
Motion adjourned.
Second? All in favor? All right.